Alrighty, welcome back to another video. I wanted to do this video earlier, but I thought I haven't actually had the time to collect myself and think about things. But we finally had some time to just think through what this hero does. So, the Untold Tale Summons has a new hero. It's only one, and it's Medea. A 5-star purple ranger of the Nightmares of Atlantis family. So they do have a passive where 50 to 75% chance, depending on 1-2 heroes that are present in the same team. 50-75% chance to cast negative 10% mana generation for 3 turns on an enemy who deals special skill damage to this character. If the enemy's special skill defeats this character, the chance is 75 or 100%. They are also related to the Atlantis family, in which case they will get, depending if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 related heroes, to have 5, 10, 15, 20, or 25% increased defense. They also have this effects on special skill: 50% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill, deals 80% damage to all enemies, and the caster gets plus 19% mana generation for 2 turns, which I believe makes her fast speed regardless of the changing tides mana speed. So for those who are unfamiliar with changing tides mana speed, essentially what it means is that the first time you cast a special skill, it is at fast speed, and then the second time you charge it, it's at average speed, and then it alternates from there. So fast, average, fast, average. I remember there was someone talking about how it is affected based on the mana skill is actually not fast and average, but it's actually changing in terms of the mana generation of the hero. I don't really understand what it is. Simple terms, it's just fast and average speed. So initially you will need 8 tiles without mana troop, and then after that you need 10 tiles without mana troop. If you have the requisite mana troops, which I do believe it's for fast you have 15% mana generation bonus, it goes down to 7. For average speed you need about 13%, so I think 12 or 13%, which knocks it down to 9. Alright, Shatter Psyche, or Shatter Psyche. The first time you cast a special skill, deals 350% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get negative 50% decrease for any healing received for 3 turns. A random hit target automatically casts Shifting Minus Attack on a random ally when mana is full at the start of a turn during 3 turns. When this effect is triggered, it shifts to the hit ally and the duration is refreshed. The second time you charge this special skill, and moving forward, deals 400% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get negative 75% decrease for any healing received for 4 turns. A random hit target automatically casts Shifting Minus Attack, blah 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 blah, for 4 turns instead of 3 turns on the first charge, which actually is pretty good. Right, let's look at this special skill. Let's break down the special skill. As a hit tree, Medea is one of the hardest hitting hit trees in the game right now, that has a chance to be fast and average speed. Now if you look at, let me just highlight some examples here. Let's look at the latest heroes that are available. If you look at Pepper Flame is 485% damage to the target and minor damage, so it's 485% to the target, and then it's 242.5% to the nearby enemies at that particular attack stat, which makes her pretty bonkers. If you look at so that was fast speed, so Pepper Flame is fast. Then if you look at, I'm trying to see if I can get an Acid Fire. I don't know who has Acid Fire. Acid Fire would be a good one to show. Let's go back to, I'm pretty sure I remember someone having Acid Fire on defense, but I can have a look at where is it? This guy? Yeah, I'm a genius. Alright, deals 355% damage to the target and nearby enemies at that particular attack stat. So 1388, 355%. Medea is 1369 and 350%. So it is one of the hardest hitting. It's not the hardest hitting, but it's one of the hardest hitting at fast speed. Now at Average speed, which means the second time you charge it, 400% damage to the target and nearby enemies. So 1369 at 400% at average speed. If you look at Hurricane, I do believe Hurricane is slightly, so 1247, much lower attack stat, 410% damage, so just 10% difference. And I do believe Phantom of the Opera is 405%. And if I want to look at what other ones can I look at? This one is 480% damage, but minor damage to nearby. What else am I missing? Can't recall at the time being, but essentially it is also really, really hard. So if you look at it from a hit tree perspective, Medea is actually really, really, really hard hitting. Like you can pair this with I would like to say you can pair this with costume Domitia, double costume Domitia, since at average speed. So I mean, if you're not too fast with essentially assuming everything is just 3 matches, then you can pair this with double costume Domitia. Otherwise, if you want to make it to synergize with fast speed heroes and you're hoping that this passive triggers, then you can work with the regular side of Guardian Panther, which has a very high elemental defense down. You can even pair this with, I think that's the only one. I don't think there is a fast purple regular defense down hero just yet. I do believe Nyx you need 9 tiles, Acid Fire doesn't do anything, and yeah, it's only Guardian Panther. So the same case with Acid Fire, you would use Medea with a regular side of Guardian Panther for a hit tree that will most likely wipe aside if you're both of them double limit rogue, and then you have like the legendary troops on them, which deals enough damage to potentially wipe out a side, even through legendary troops, I do believe. Now the second part, the decrease for any healing received, I would say works well with fiends. You don't really get this effect much these days. It usually changes to boosted health. But with the presence of legendary troops, a lot of the trend right now is that you're trending towards heroes that give a percentage health increase. So it's not boosted health, because boosted health is rarely percentage. It's more on a static number, and that's why instead of that, heroes like Dark Feather, which gives increased healing, a percentage amount of healing, suddenly becomes a bit more lucrative when it comes to legendary troops, when legendary troops are in the picture. So you have heroes like Cleopatra, I mean, to name a few, Cleopatra and all that, which are healing quite a bit. You can use Medea to kind of restrict that healing, although you rarely see that in defense, at least, or I rarely see that in defense when I play in the top tier wars. Okay, the third part. A random hit target automatically casts shifting mindless attack. So Medea is a hit tree hero. When you hit 3, any one of those 3 targets has a chance to be inflicted with shifting mindless attack. It's not the target that you're selecting. It is one of the 3 targets that are being hit by Medea, or one of the targets that are being hit by Medea's special skill. So because this is a damage to the target and nearby enemies, at most you hit 3 and it's a 1 in 3 chance for someone to get hit. Or if you hit 2 or 1, then for 2 it is 50% chance on either one of them hitting. And if you're just hitting 1%, say maybe you hit a taunt, then the taunt will have shifting mindless attack. Personally, I like that the second time you charge it is at 4 turns. Personally, I feel like you shouldn't use Medea as you should ignore this shifting mindless attack. This whole paragraph here, I think you should just ignore it. Randomly hit targets, when you're looking at 1 in 3 chance to hit something, it usually doesn't really help you when it comes to using Medea as a controller. If you're using Medea as a controller, um, most of the time what you're doing is that you're often praying to the gods that 33% of the time, whichever hero that you hit, you want that person to be inflicted by, you want that target to be inflicted by a shifting mindless attack, and 67% of the time it's not the case. So in this case, I would rely more on Medea being a hard hitting purple hero that you can pair with someone like Guardian Panther, or even just by herself together with like Acid Fire or something like that, and the added bonus of just that shifting mindless attack suddenly randomly hitting just someone. The other way that I could see you using Medea instead is ignore that shifting mindless attack, hit 3, and then dictate, and that will dictate whichever target that has the shifting mindless attack on dictates where your next tile movement will be. Now I've been searching actually for a couple of days now, ever since this hero came out, but I still have not found anybody who's on my raid tower, or I've been plowing through raids and I haven't seen a single Medea that I can't test it out yet. And I'm not pulling for Medea because I personally think it's not really that worth it to pull for Medea. But anyways, I digress. I would use Medea more as a hard hitting slot in your offense teams, rather than use her in as a support to kind of control, as a controller for the shifting minus attack. The shifting minus attack I feel is just a bonus. It's more reliable to use Medea as a hit tree. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like that this makes her pretty much not as good. I would feel like Acid Fire, as we have just seen. Acid Fire I think does a little bit more in terms of utility, and he definitely hits a lot harder. He does have everything that is relevant as an offensive hero. So I would actually focus more on Acid Fire rather than Medea. The only time I'll see you use Medea again is when you're hitting into a taunt, in which case the taunt will definitely get shifting minus attack, and then you start piling tiles into the taunt, and then the taunt will shift this minus attack to somebody else, and then you start that chain in which you can again hit someone and hope that a different the shifting minus attack works in your favor, rather than just hit some random guy that you don't have tiles going into that person. So that's my thoughts on Medea. Again, I'm not pulling in this portal right now. I think the other featured heroes I already have, I already have Atlantea, and I already have Galapago. I still use Atlantea. I'm just throwing her into the dustbin. I think she sucks, by the way. So yeah, I'm not pulling. But if you guys are interested in pulling for Medea, by all means, go ahead. Congrats if you got her, by the way. I'm not saying she's completely useless. I'm just saying that I would rather just look at her as yet another hit tree that hits really, really hard in this day and age. That being said, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't have any other things that I want to talk about. Actually, I really wanted to make this video where I can show her how she performs in raids and show you that 33% chance means jack shit. Unless you put her on defense, and then all of a sudden the defense is suddenly so precise in their aiming that they're always hitting the ones that you have already charged up. But that's another conspiracy theory for another time. But in any case, the rest of these heroes in these Untold Tales are actually really, really strong. I'm just waiting for the right time where maybe something gets featured in a sort of like the 3 featured heroes are heroes that I actually want, and maybe I'll do a couple of pulls. Domiventus is one. Domiventus is one I actually really want. Persa is another one, and a second Gestalt. I actually want a second Gestalt because I want to completely replicate one of the raid teams that I use for war, and I'm missing a Gestalt. But anyways, that's my thoughts on Medea. Do let me know what you think in the comments, whether you disagree with me or agree with me, and I will catch you on the next video. GG.